So, you've gotten into the Doomed, you've got your rule book, you're reading, you've maybe made a few purchases for your forces, or you don't have exactly the things you need to act as the basis for the things you want to create. This is where the waiting for things to be shipped and delivered, or in my case, for a friend to 3D print some parts, this is when we must consult our collections and take stock of what we have. In this case, quite a few Reaper miniatures. A lot of Reaper miniatures. Let's get to it. So, what is Reaper miniatures? Well, Reaper is one of the oldest names in the game. Oh, sorry, didn't realize that the glare would be so bad. Let's take it down a notch. There we are. So Reapers is one of the oldest names in the miniature game. Typically they make miniatures in 25mm scale, designed more in line for those who are into the Dungeons and Dragons scene. They were traditionally metal models, as is showcased here by this old Reaper metal clown I've got. Might actually use him. But, now they've moved on to the Reaper's Bones series. Black is their highest fidelity version. These blood demons were basically a freebie I scored with points from War Games Delivered, back when I used to do a lot of purchases with them before their, how do I put this mildly? Their shipping fulfillment teams, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistency went through the frickin' floor. I was amazed that when I finally decided to cash out all of my War Games Delivered points and purchase this box as sort of my final piece of business with them, that they didn't end up sending me the wrong thing, or for sending me an empty box. That might seem unkind, but I've often picked up Reaper Bones models from War Games Delivered as sort of like icing on the cake for orders of paint and that sort of thing. Here I've got one of my unbuilt Black Star Corsairs. We got all sorts of these fun little goons, which will probably make decent models for, like, minions. Unfortunately, my obsession with humans in sci-fi armor bites me in the butt, because while things like this flesh golem will be excellent choices for making horrors, same with these rats and these space alien looking fellows. Those would be a good choice. Little green men. These are kind of what you're looking for if you're going with pre-made, pre-bought items. I'm just sort of sifting through here. Oh, we got a vampire hunter. Abraham Van Helsing. And I've got just a ton of these Nova Corp models, which, again, haven't decided whatever to do with the Nova Corp models. This guy could potentially turn him into something. So here we have sort of just things pulled from the collection. We got this guy who's no longer in his original packaging because I used a bunch of his bits for my ice cream truck for Gaslands, but I've still got a leftover head and hand and everything for this fellow, so he would still be able to create a creepy clown with him. Could definitely be a horror to create. Here we have some gray alien warriors. Gray alien scientists. Gray alien leaders. Those would be great. We have the Kolothi right-handed, and I believe Kolothi left-handed. Again, when I purchased these, I bought 2 of each, and War Games Delivered only sent me 1 of each. Sent emails to customer service, no refunds given. They've just gone through the toilet. Like I said, I don't do business with War Games Delivered anymore. Here we have a bunch of rats. Could put 1 or several on a base to create swarms, that sort of thing. I got these for Zona Alpha. And like I pointed out earlier, we got this flesh golem. Put him on a nice big base. He'll make a good horror. And these guys all will make excellent horrors, especially if you do some additional like kit bashing, throw on bits and weapons. I got a lot of orc bits, and the way these guys' muscles definition is, I can probably throw on knob and war boss bits on these guys, and they'll look great. And I will say this, Reaper Bones Black are not made of soft plastic. I mean, there's still a little give to them, but they're built to a much higher degree. I wonder if you can hear the storm that's raging on outside. We're under a storm advisory currently. But yeah, these guys, they're decently chunky. They'll make excellent horrors, especially when you just go through the list and find something to match. Demons, cyber demons, especially if you're somebody who's been like me, you've always just sort of played generic humans. Horrors are an excellent way to broaden the scope of your collections, so that you can actually maybe put to use some of these little fellows and actually, you know, have a little fun with your hobby, and maybe buy something that you wouldn't have of otherwise. So yeah, just giving you an idea of some of the things out there that are ready-made. And Bones, the Reaper models, especially the Bones models, they're talking, depending on where you buy them from, incredibly cheap. The cost is very much within reason. These guys that I'm not using, these Black Star Corsair, the Nova Corp Sergeant, all these Nova Corp models, these would make excellent bases for your hunting retinues, especially if you don't want to maybe do a lot of kit bashing. You just want to be playing stuff off the gate. These guys all come pre-made on bases. These are the older Reaper Bones models. So it's a very rubbery, very rubbery, soft plastic. You'll probably notice that a lot of these models are deformed through storage. Bring a pot of water to a boiling point, dip them in real quick, and they should, these are thermoplastics, so if you put them in hot, they should take their original shape. And yeah, usually boiling a pot of water and just giving these each a quick dunk will have them reform back into their original shape. It doesn't necessarily need to be boiling, but I find that just bringing a pot to a boil is the easiest way to do it. You just don't leave them in for very long. You just quick dunk, watch them unbend back to form, and then pull them out. And then you may have to do that a few times. Let them cool. Just keep that pot of water boiling. Let them cool. See how they bend again. Keep dipping until they stop reforming. I have been told that that makes them a little more fragile and brittle, afterwards, but hopefully you shouldn't be, you know, throwing these things against the wall or manhandling them to the point that that's going to be a problem. So here I'm pulling the camera back and zooming out a little bit so that y'all can have a look at some of the other things I've been dredging up for my hobby storage. This is an old army of mine that I have had in storage for a dog's age. I haven't done anything with the models Lord knows how long. This was one of the armies that I last played before my first big break from 40k. It's my Nurgle army. And I've got all sorts of fun plague bearers and terminators, lovely terminators. That's Typhus. We got Chaos Sorcerer. I think I created him as a familiar. Lots of unused, unpainted, unfinished projects in this box. What do I mean by that? Well, this is a tackle box that I've used leftover foam from other carrying cases. I've got plague zombies. I've got spawn. I've got forget the names of these guys, but you know, they're the flesh horrors covered in guns. Got just about a bit of everything with these fellows, and you know, maybe a little extra green stuff work to remove some of the icons. A lot of this army was built with, oh, there's my Chaos Lord and Terminator armor on a plinth of Nurgle, and that I built out of a Nurgling horde swarm. Oh, memories. Oh, man. A lot of this was built with super glue, I know that for a fact. Man. I always intend to paint things and then I never get around to them. I've got so many zombies. We got Chaos Space Marines, all just sort of slapped in here and rattling around, not doing nothing. So a lot of this will probably be reharnessed and repurposed, especially for that zombie horde horror. I think definitely these guys are finally going to get some life. Here I found another little chestnut from an old project of some alternative Sisters of Battle models. These were mock-ups that I was doing for a friend of potential alternatives for plastic units or ways of building units in plastic from the Sisters of Battle line. This is literally a miniaturized Leviathan model from Dreamforge Games back when they were still around, with the head not taken out and a lady model chopped up, put in there, strapped in to make a version of a penitent engine. I might salvage this. Why, do you ask, would I salvage this? Well, it's pretty simple. I have not one, but two of these discontinued model kits, and the rending claw arms to go with them. One of these, I mean, just to give you an idea of how long I've been sitting on these, this set, the rest of them were spared. This one has water damage on it from a flood that we suffered that claimed a bunch of other items, including my original birth certificate. But clearly I felt that I could salvage this. And you know what? The instructions and everything are in surprisingly good condition, despite that. So, honestly, I've got multiple versions of those sets. And this time, I won't glue them together. I'll make it so that you can swap out the arms and hands. But, yeah, this set is... yeah, this set is discontinued. They don't make these anymore. Dreamforge went out of business, sold the Eisenkarn line to Wargames Atlantic. And the Panzerjägers and the the other unit, it's some German word, are still made by Wargames Atlantic, but they don't make these. I don't know if Wargames Atlantic's sitting on the tooling or what, but this was meant for 15mm games, and considering scale, if this is for a 15mm model, which is like that big, yeah, this is a Titan model. These guys were, when they were still around, a full-size 28mm scale Leviathan Crusader model was huge, was absolutely massive model, and it was a popular alternative to Forge World Titan kits because these were just, they were so much more cheaper and more affordable than what Forge World had on offer. Would have loved to have one of the original Leviathan Crusader models. Those things were huge. I want to say they were as big as a Warhound, but oh well, as is many things in this hobby, things go out of business, studios close, and we're only left with what could have been. These things will make excellent canvases for yeah, that's right. These models were designed to still have some sort of posability to them. I froze them in certain positions, but some of the range of motion is still there. I'll try to build, if I build these, I'll try to build them because they were basically, you could build these things as fully posable action figures. And I might do that just for the sake of fun and do some green stuff, work and things like that to make these more, oh yeah, look at that. I put flamers on either side. Yeah, that made this into a penitent engine just as a, like I said, I made this as a mock-up to show a friend it was possible. I did a lot of stuff like that where people would be like, oh, I wish, and then I would go out and I'd kit bash something and just be like, yeah, here, I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you the parts you need, the sets to buy, and the bits you can get. Yeah, my God, this guy's kind of broken up. There's the posability of the fingers. Good God, yeah, you can still move some of these joints. Holy shnikes, yeah. Yeah, these were ball sockets. Man, such beautiful model kits. Definitely, I might build one as is for the sake of posterity and then turn another into a horror. But speaking of Wargames Atlantic, I figured I'd bring out a few bits, some boxes of some things I have, sets of theirs. Here we got the giant spider set, obviously big scary spiders with big scary little, I guess not so big, but little mini spiders. These little mini spiders make great, just sort of clip them out, clean them up, put them on a base. Instant minions. These big ones have some sci-fi pieces that you can throw on. They come with saddles that you could use to put the goblin set to create, you know, goblin riders. You could do all sorts of kit bashing. These are actually, I've seen some people do some fantastic work. These make great bases with some green stuff to turn them into sort of Drider looking things. Very, very useful sets. Same with this set. These are the Harvesters. They're sort of the Gene Stealer alternative from the Deathfield line created by Wargames Atlantic. Again, comes with these little single-piece pre-made broodlings, and then you get the big, scarier ones. But one thing I will say about the Harvester sets and the Spider sets is very fiddly. Very, very fiddly sets. Be very careful if you decide to use any of those bits. And then last but not least, from what I've pulled out, here we have a Gar Empire starter army from Beyond the Gates of Antartes. This is a war game that I haven't really gotten into much. I bought a bunch of models from this line, made by Warlord Games. This is sort of their 40k alternative answer to 40k. Their models don't really work as 40k alternatives. It's very... Beyond the Gates of Antartes has a very like Mass Effect feel to its technology and creatures. So it's kind of, I would say, more of an Infinity alternative, although I've heard that some people enjoy Beyond the Gates of Antartes because it's basically bolt action in space. But I've never opened this set. I've got this for my forays into Stargrave, 5 parsecs from home, and I figured we'd unbox this and both have a little fun. Is this metal? Gar Starter Army metal components. Okay. So here we've got all the metal pieces. Who packed these? Lewis. Thanks, Lewis. Appreciate it. This is an old set, man. The newer stuff, those made by are in black and white. Man, little metal pieces. Little metal bitty bits. Ooh, kind of gnarled looking nasty cannoneer. Okay, so it's looking like it's a bunch of stuff from these guys. So these guys are all metal. And they're kind of nasty looking goblin dudes, and I think they might make good minions. The guy on the cannon might make a decent horror. The big draw... Oh great, some bases, always need those. The big draw with the Gar is sort of, as I understand, these little guys piloting these big suits. And yeah, these guys are pretty big. They're a little bit bigger than Terminators. And this will be like really all you need. Oh, there's your little drone bases. Flying bases for the drone models. Yeah. And then you just got, looks like, just a lot of Gar suits. So these, even one of these guys would make a fantastic base for a horror with some work done to them, or just as is. They're kind of scary, unearthly beasties. You can see your instructions how to build them and what they look like when they're finished. They've got a very kind of crab, pseudo spider sort of style going on with them. So I think I'll probably at least use some of these little slave race dudes, probably build all of them. Oh yeah, so this is like a weapon emplacement. There's the loader, and then you get like a squad of just little gremlins, and little gremlins will make good minions for your horrors. And last but not least, and we're gonna zoom out a bit for this. Yes, I'm barefoot. You get the grippers for free. Bits boxes. My God, I have so many bits boxes. Stuff still on the frame, and I'm already seeing unbuilt Killicans, orcs, leftover Terminator bits, orc bombas. Or this is all my this is my orcs box. So basically, just dig in here, find what you can, and just start throwing paint to canvas. Take a piece, start working on it. That's probably what I'm going to do in the next video, is start just going through my bits box, seeing what I can find, rather than doing the boring, here's the pre-made stuff. Pre-made stuff's easy. It's kit bashing, and kit bashing effectively that will be hard. So that's my prep, man. So here we go, man. This is it. This is where we are at until pieces start, well, shipments start coming in and I can start getting to work. I've got even more bits boxes. My workshop's a mess right now, but hot diggity dog, like, this is my future. This is what I'll be doing for the foreseeable time. Getting horrors made and preparing for the big show. So hope you enjoyed this. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and all that, and we'll see you in the next one, ladies and gents. Bye-bye. A most heartfelt thank you to my patrons and subscribers. I wouldn't be able to do this without y'all. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. I have a Patreon. It's in the description of the video. You can also find my Twitter and my Discord server there if you would like to join the community and help this channel grow. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks again, everyone.